Hey, diary. So I am just trudging along, now realizing that all I have of my son are some objects, subjective memories, dreams that aren't real. This project we call life and living, because you can be alive and still not really be living your life. I, I, I hear this a lot from people. Oh, I wish. I wish I was doing this or that. It's sad. I think there's always times in a person's life where, for a while, they may have to, just stay a course and get through something for the for the good of what would come out of that, like an education, or even like learning to play. Learning to play music. It's not that there's an ultimate goal, or it doesn't stop, but there does. You reach places that you weren't before. But sometimes you have to work a crappy job for a long time because you have responsibilities. I did that. So I feel that I obviously was doing a lot of my life in some form of mirror or relation to Forrest's. Like we would talk about every day what we did that day in our training, both with martial arts and music. We would say, "Hey, oh yeah, this is what I've been doing this week, and you should try this." That's gone. That's what I was saying. Like I don't have anybody to do that with. And I never will have that again, because how we communicated and what we were, or at least what he was to me, is never going to it's never going to happen again. And maybe some of the other, like, family members who lost their drug addict have it, because I heard similar things that, like, he and I were completely joined, and I heard that a lot. I also heard that some of these junkies would just deny the fact that they had family or people that love them or care them. They're just off. They're just off on their trip. Maybe that's the thing that gets me the most upset about this, is how how just hugely selfish drug use and drug addiction. And if you're using drugs, stop, idiot. You can. You just don't want to. I know people deride the just say no thing, but like, yeah, you don't have to listen to Nancy Reagan, but that's all it is looking at yourself going, this isn't working. My life is shit. My body feels terrible. I'm sick always. I have no allies, no family, friends. You know, the real people, not the other junkies and dealers and other users who are just equally full of shit. But just you know that is not good. And how could Forrest, my beautiful son, somebody who had a lot of self-reflection and did truly seem to consider other people, or at least insofar as appearances. Maybe it was just appearances. Maybe with drug addicts, you're just not able to really consider other people. That other people are just a means towards your end, which is just to be high. Not to get high, just to be high. I can't really sidestep this, that it's a victim-filled crime, that drug addiction is a victim-heavy crime that addicts are committing. I sometimes blame the dealers for just, I mentioned here that I'm taking photographs of their cars when they show up. They're less here now because it's so cold. They'll come back when it's warmer. So it's around, you know, everything, all your vices are available to you if you dig deep enough for them, I guess. And we humans need vices. It's pretty obvious. It's part of our nature, and we're not going to get rid of it. So it's not like Puritanism is the other, you know, option. It's just do stuff that doesn't kill you, if you need to do that. And perhaps you should study yourself a bit. Find out why you're smoking, why you're drinking, why you're doing drugs, why you're doing behaviors that aren't balancing you, but are unbalancing you. I have vices. And when I've succumbed to my vices in more, you know, regular or intense ways, it's created a lot of trouble in my life. And unlike junkies, I was able to pull myself back from the edge of the cliffs that I was just running towards. But heroin users don't see that. It's like freaking Catcher in the Rye. Just everybody's just charging towards this cliff. And we're supposed to what? Oh, poor baby, you know? you're the one who's doing this. And if it's not your fault, man, run into a frickin' hospital. If you're like, I can't help it, I can't stop it. And I'm sure that's true. At least in the moments that you're using. I feel really sad that if you're a junkie, that you're going to not get over this and that you're going to die in a probably horrible way, or at least for other people, you will die in a horrible way. Maybe for you, you'll just drift off nice and warm and happy and safe, right? Stupid. It's fucking stupid shit. You've convinced yourself that life sucks. You've convinced yourself that heroin or drug use is a therapy, a coping mechanism, medicine. Maybe I just loved him more than he loved everything else. I really find that hard to believe because he loved everything. But I hear this from the other people, that their junkies also love life and that they were just chargers and just leaders of their worlds. Newsflash, a leader doesn't do this. You're a follower. You're a follower. You're a sheep. You're following these lies into this. Yeah. And that's it. I just keep revolving around it. That high when you've shot up must be better than your grandmother, than your daughter, than your cat, than your life, than all the good possibilities that your life could be if you stopped making excuses and took actions. You took responsibility. That's very sad, let's say, when you come up with parents that can't help you and that have problems themselves and that are full of crap. And a lot of times drug addicts come out of, generational situations. And a lot of times they don't. It's a mixed bag. But some excuses are pretty valid. You get out here kind of hobbled, but valid only in the sense that they're reasonable to suggest that because of bad bullshit parenting that you had, that you would have bad coping mechanisms, but it doesn't make those coping mechanisms any better. So you can't use them. You can't use your pain as an excuse. I was sexually abused and under very heavily religious indoctrination. It was just, I just couldn't get my life together. For years, I struggled in ways that I couldn't understand. Eventually, I just came to understand that I was just, messed around. And I would just have to behave in ways which were healthy. Just behave in ways that are healthy. Manage yourself. Know yourself. These are adages and ideas that have been around for a long time. Of course, the other side of knowing yourself is understanding excess. My son did not understand excess. because he allowed this, one grain of this, one drop of this into his bloodstream. He allowed it. He welcomed it. He was bored. And he was also flirting. Combination. Maybe that's a lethal combination. Some sex, some drugs, somebody sort of daring you, blowing up your mind, going, man, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna go my own way here. I wake up every morning smelling his corpse, looking at his dead body. And then remembering how awesome his life was. By his account, not my imaginary account, by him telling me. Poof. But it wasn't poof, was it? It's been going on all the time. It must have been just lurking. And he gave into it and died. And what is there to learn from this, except what we all know anyway, which is drugs are bullshit. They're selfish. They not only kill you, but they kill everyone around you. They kill all the love. They kill all the good feeling. Yes, it's harder work to live life. I feel like Forrest cheated. I feel like he fucking cheated. He died. He died before I did, which is, first of all, cheating. And he died by his own hands, by his own decisions. He couldn't control his vices. And we talked about this a lot, because I wanted my son to live. And I wanted him to live in a way that was balanced, where he didn't have to just like deprive himself of everything, but understand what intoxicants and drugs and even intellectual vices are, right? Hatred, maintaining hatred and anger is an intellectual vice. And you know people that are destroyed by it. And we have to suck it up. That really is the term. We who survive you just have to shrug our shoulders, forget about all the good stuff that you did, all the great things that you were and could have been, because we will never be able to tell people and share that, because you stole it from us with the shameful, selfish way in which you killed yourself. And for what? To wet your pants while you're high, to shit yourself? What? For what? For nothing.